Today, we're tackling one of the most debated matchups we've all imagined. Toph versus Azula, two of the most powerful benders in the Avatar universe going head-to-head. Who will be the ultimate champion? Well, let's get into it.
Whenever you're ready.
All right, let's begin with Toph Beifong.
I am not Toph. I am Melon Lord.
When we first met Toph, it was clear she was exceptional. She is not just an earthbender, she is a revolutionary force in the world of bending. Toph fought the boulder first, and easily embarrassed him. She faced her old Earth Rumble opponents again, and this time, she showed no mercy. But it was during her journey with Team Avatar that we saw the full range of her abilities. Her strength was further demonstrated when she effortlessly mowed and immobilized dozens of Earth Kingdom soldiers. This fight made me realize that the team didn't just get an earthbending teacher in Toph, but also one of the most overpowered teens ever. She and Aang literally rolled the entire palace like it's nothing. They were like, "We're so sick of this bullshit." In this scene, Toph was literally holding up a sinking library.
Library sinking. Library sinking!
The size of the library and the fact that it was being pulled into the spirit world is incredible. But then again, she's Toph Beifong, the greatest earthbender ever. Toph never had anyone to talk to other than her family. She created the blind bandit identity to sneak out and meet people, even if it was just for a moment before she kicked the crap out of them. Now, the only family she's ever loved is sinking into the earth.
What is it now?
You can see the seriousness of her decision as she feels and hears Appa being taken away. Filled with adrenaline and determination, she even takes a few blind shots at the sandbenders while holding up the entire building with one hand.
Don't make me put this down!
I know it took everything she had to keep that library from sinking, and she never got a thank you from the group. On Ember Island, Toph is seen sandbending a sandcastle. This girl felt so guilty that she taught herself to sandbend. Toph's seismic sense was not only crucial for her, but also valuable for the Avatar, who used it to confront Fire Lord Ozai. Most earthbenders didn't know this technique, so it gave Toph a big advantage. She showed complete mastery of basic earthbending skills, like manipulating rock walls, earth skating, rock armor, and earth tunneling. Even the highly trained Dai Li agents were no match for her. Toph not only beat her former teacher and opponent, but also invented metal bending to escape from them, becoming the first person ever to bend metal.
Woo! Toph, you rule.
This skill was incredibly useful throughout the series, helping her infiltrate enemy bases and manipulate metal objects for both attack and defense.
Have I ever mentioned how sweet it is that you invented metal bending?
You could stand to mention it more.
Toph's strength isn't just about her physical power. Her resilience and courage are key parts of who she is. She doesn't see her blindness as a weakness, but as a strength, always pushing herself to overcome challenges.
Oh, that really hurt my tailbone.
Unlike Toph, who learned from the original earthbending masters, Azula never had the chance to study with the dragons, but she comes from a family of strong benders. From her introduction, it's clear she's skilled and ruthless.
Afraid of fire, I see. That's good. You should be.
She was considered such a big threat that even Iroh, the leader of the White Lotus, said she had to be stopped, indicating her danger even to someone as powerful as him.
I know what you're gonna say. She's my sister and I should be trying to get along with her.
No, she's crazy and she needs to go down.
Her firebending is unique, with her signature blue flames that burn hotter and more intensely than regular fire. She can also generate lightning, a rare and lethal skill that requires great control and discipline. It was this lightning that almost ended the Avatar cycle. Additionally, she uses Firebending to shoot flames from her feet, allowing her to move quickly through the air.
She's not gonna make it. Of course she did.
Azula's strategic brilliance and unyielding ambition match her bending abilities.
If I sense any disloyalty, any hesitation, any weakness at all, I will snuff it out.
She led the fall of Ba Sing Se, infiltrating the city and manipulating key figures to stage a successful coup.
The coup is happening right now! We've got to warn the Earth King!
During the final showdown at the Western Air Temple, Azula targeted Team Avatar and fought Zuko, showing her agility, precision, and relentless offensive skills. Her ability to handle multiple opponents at once highlights her exceptional combat skills. One of her most notable battles occurred during the Day of Black Sun, where she cleverly stalled the invasion force by misleading them, buying time for the eclipse to end, and for the Fire Nation to regain its bending abilities. Azula's duel with Zuko in the series finale, the Agni Kai, was intense and emotionally charged. Her powerful blue flames and fierce attacks contrasted with Zuko's measured responses. Despite her evident instability at this point, Azula's raw power and skill are on full display. This battle also showed her tragic side, as her pursuit of power and perfection led to her downfall. So, who would win in a showdown?
How should I know?
Well, for this category, I'm going to break down some key factors: experience, combat style durability, versatility, and battle analysis. You see, Toph and Azula both have significant combat experience, but their paths are different. Toph started young in underground earthbending tournaments, where she learned to defeat many opponents.
I never knew. Your daughter's amazing.
She also fought alongside Team Avatar in various battles, facing diverse enemies and adjusting to different combat scenarios.
Toph, help me plug up this drain.
Azula is highly trained, but we've only seen her battle a few benders. It's hard to compare her experience to Toph's, who even faced a combustion bender and lived to tell the tale. Toph fights with a style that adapts to her surroundings and relies on her strong connection to the earth. Her seismic sense gives her complete awareness, making it very hard to sneak up on her. Azula can shoot fire from her feet and lightning from her hands, but these attacks require precise aim.
Almost perfect. One hair out of place.
Almost isn't good enough.
Toph, always grounded, can launch surprise attacks, especially on those unaware of her abilities. For instance, she can make the ground open up beneath her opponent by flexing her toes or stomping. She can also send shockwaves or create walls to trap her opponent. Toph can create large dust clouds to confuse her enemies without losing her own ability to see, thanks to her seismic sense. Her ability to bend metal adds even more options in battle. Azula's main advantage is her speed. Even Aang, a very agile airbender, struggled to keep up with her.
I can't pin her down. She's too quick.
Toph can move quickly by surfing on a rock, but she can't outrun Azula. Heck, the princess could even dodge large boulders. Azula fights aggressively and precisely, often using her words and fear tactics. But the problem for her is that Toph is not easily intimidated or manipulated. She is very resistant to doubt, fear, and deception.
And since you can't see, I should tell you I'm rolling my eyes.
I'll roll your whole head.
Toph would not be affected by Azula's words and would face her head-on. If either of them got hurt, Azula would recover faster. In a fierce battle at the Western Air Temple, Azula and Zuko struck each other hard enough to ignite the sky and send both of them flying. Azula survived this and quickly recovered, even supporting her body with one hand.
Of course she did.
Toph hasn't shown the same level of durability, and if her feet get burned, she becomes vulnerable. This weakness is so significant that Zuko managed to exploit it by accident.
You burned my feet!
I'm sorry! It was a mistake!
But the big question is, can Toph defeat Azula?
You think you're so tough? Why don't you come up here so I can smack that grin off your face?
Okay, here's my candid opinion, based on what I've seen. Earthbending has a big advantage over Firebending because it combines defense and offense. Toph is very good at this. However, Azula's Firebending is much stronger and faster than Toph's Earthbending. Azula's fire can easily break through earth walls, like when she destroyed Aang's earth wall and sent him flying in Ba Sing Se. Her fire blast also shattered Aang's crystal armor. Toph can't keep putting up walls every time Azula attacks with lightning. Her quick charging lightning broke through one of Toph's biggest walls. But Toph is smart. She can use the ground to mess with Azula's footing or trap her, making it hard for her to balance and aim.
I thought you guys could use a little help.
She can even sink Azula in quicksand, a trick we've seen Boomy do before. Toph's ability to manipulate the environment gives her an edge that Azula might not expect. Toph can use metal bending to shackle Azula, limiting her bending. She would need to be careful using metal as defense, though, because of Azula's lightning. But Toph is aware of this, so she would handle it smartly. Azula's firebending, while powerful, is more direct and doesn't have the same level of environmental control that Toph has. Azula is quick and knows Toph's weakness is her blindness.
And since you can't see, I should tell you I'm rolling my eyes.
But she doesn't know about Toph's seismic sense and metal bending abilities. Thinking Azula can beat Toph with lightning because she can't see is delulu. Toph would be able to hear the lightning being generated, and we all know it takes time to generate. This would give her enough warning to react and protect herself. Azula's jet propulsion is very loud, so Toph would hear it and dodge, then counter with numerous rock attacks.
Get off me! Get off me!
Flying would eventually tire Azula out, and if she grabs something connected to the ground, Toph will detect her. Azula needs to end the fight quickly before Toph figures her out. Her best chance is to use her speed to get close and hit hard, but Azula's arrogance usually prevents this. She'd likely toy with Toph, giving Toph time to understand her moves, which will take a lot less time than Azula thinks.
There you are!
She might trap Azula like Aang did with Ozai, and could bury her alive like that Earth Kingdom general buried Katara. The fight would be over very quickly, especially if it's a fight to the death, which Azula is always prepared for. Remember, Azula's outfit is metal, and she always wears her golden hairpin. All Toph needs to do is to drill it into her skull, and that would be the end of her. Toph can create smoke clouds as seen in the Blind Bandit episode. Azula wouldn't see where she's going and would have to land, allowing Toph to see her. But that means Toph will suffer burns because Azula will shoot randomly. But the thing is, Toph doesn't make the same mistake twice. She hates being vulnerable. That's why she keeps getting better. Proof? After Appa was taken, she learned sandbending. When Zuko burned her feet, she started wearing metal armor. In the comics, she learned how to break a fall to avoid getting hurt from high places. It's likely that Toph has already thought about how to handle Azula, knowing she can use lightning.
That is a nice trick.
Also, I think people forget that she's very strategic when it comes to a one-on-one fight, and likes using the environment to her advantage. People often underestimate Toph because they think Azula is stronger, but that's not true. Azula is just more aggressive.
Who's that?
That's a problem.
Azula is fast and agile, this is true. Azula is tactical and an amazing firebender, this is also very true. But Azula often needs support or some type of leverage to win battles. If she could lose to Katara twice, she can lose to Toph 100 times. So, to answer the question, yes, Toph will beat Azula. Do you agree with our analysis? Who do you think would win in a battle between Toph and Azula? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more Avatar content. Until next time, stay geeky.